Morning, dear students. Welcome to our zoology online class. Dear students, in the last class, we completed the third chapter. Okay, reproductive health. That chapter we have completed in the last class. So today we are going to start a new chapter, new lesson. The lesson's name is Principle of Inheritance and Variations. So the fourth chapter name is Principle of Inheritance and Variation. Okay, dear students. So in this lesson, fully we are going to study about genes and genetics. Okay, fully we are going to study about only genetics. Here genetics means it's a very big branch of the biology. Okay, genetics meaning it's a very big branch of biology and deals with the inheritance and variations. Okay, here inheritance meaning transformation of transferring the characters from generation to generations, and variations you all know differences. Okay, so genetics means a big branch of biology deals with the variations and inheritance. Understand, dear students? So first is small introduction about this chapter. See, actually the genes are called hereditary units because the genes will be responsible for the transformation of characters from one generation to next generation, and the genes only determining the characters, biological character in the body of the living organism. Okay, so genes only responsible for the determination of characters in the body of the living organism, and the genes only responsible to transfer some characters from one generation to next generation. So the genes are otherwise called hereditary unit. Otherwise called hereditary unit. Understand that you? So here the genes are maximum, they are in two alternative form. Here two alternative form is, one form's name is called dominant and the second one is called recessive. Okay, so genes, each and every genes are in two alternative form. One is the dominant form and the second one is the recessive form. Here dominant is a normal, okay, normal condition, and the recessive is a mutant condition. Okay, mutation means sudden change. One gene can involve in mutation for many types. Understand a few? So every gene is having two important alternative forms, dominant and recessive forms. Understand that, dear students? So this is small introduction about this chapter. So first we are going to study about the first topic of this chapter. Our first topic name is called multiple allele. Multiple allele. So listen very carefully. The definition for the word multiple allele is very important for 2-mark question. Okay, it's a very important 2-mark question. So multiple allele meaning, see, each and every gene has more number of alternative forms, alternative factors. That factors are called alleles. That factors are called alleles. So genes exist in two forms, dominant and recessive. And each and every genes has many alternative factors. That factors are called alleles. Okay, so here our first topic is multiple allele. Here multiple allele meaning when more than 3 alleles togetherly determining a single characters. Okay, and these alleles are located in a single locations of a chromosome. So that alleles are called multiple alleles. Okay, so multiple alleles meaning when 3 or more than 3 number of alleles togetherly determining a particular character, single characters. But all these 3 alleles are located in the same location of a chromosome. Okay, same locations of a chromosome. So this condition is called multiple allele. This condition is called multiple allele, and this type of hereditary is called multiple allelism. Multiple allelism. And the example for this multiple allele is the ABO blood group. ABO blood group is one of the very important example for this multiple allelism. So dear students, so now we are going to study about ABO blood group in human being. Okay, so listen very carefully. See, each and every person's blood is chemically different. Okay, blood is chemically different from one person to another person. Because the reason is, each and every person's blood, RBC is there, red blood corpuscles. So the outer surface of the red blood corpuscles, antigens are present. Okay, so this because of this reason, because of the presence or absence of this surface antigen, okay, because of the presence or absence of these antigens, our blood is chemically different. Okay, differ from one person to another person. Understand of you? So blood group is a maximum 4 types of blood group is there. Okay, but the chemical nature of the blood is differ from one person to another person. And I said the reason was. Okay, the reason is presence or absence of one antigen, surface antigen. This antigen is present on the outer surface of the RBC, red blood corpuscles. Okay, then next part. When we mix two different types of blood group together, immediately the blood is started to clot. This condition is called agglutination. This condition is called agglutination. Okay, so when we mix the two different types of blood group togetherly, it leads to agglutination condition. It leads to agglutination. Understand of you? Then first, this antigen, already I told you, the antigens are present on the outer surface of the RBC. This antigen only the reason for the difference in the chemical nature of the blood. Okay, then say Karl Landsteiner is a famous scientist. Okay, Karl Landsteiner. He discovered two types of antigens in the outer surface of the RBC. Okay, two different types of antigen in the outer surface of the RBCs. Okay, so the first antigen name is called A antigen and the second antigen name is called B antigen. Okay, so he discovered, Karl Landsteiner discovered A antigen and B antigen in the outer surface of the RBCs. So based on the presence or absence of these two antigens, he developed three types of blood group: A group, B group, then O group. A group, B group and O group. Hope you understood this point. So Karl Landsteiner discovered two antigens, antigen A and antigen B. These two antigens are present on the outer surface of the RBC. So based on the presence or absence of these two antigens, the blood groups are classified into A group, B group and O group. Understand of you? Understand? So if a person's RBC has A antigen, his or her blood is A group. If a person's blood has B antigen on the outer surface of the RBC, his or her blood is B group. If there is no antigen, her blood group or his or her blood group is O group. Hope you understood this point. Then, next, in the year of 1902, two scientists, okay, von D. Castel and Storley. Okay, these two people are the students of Karl Landsteiner. Okay, so these two scientists together discovered the fourth blood group. Fourth group, the name of the group is called AB group. Name of the group is called AB group. So based on the presence or absence of antigen, surface antigen, Karl Landsteiner discovered three types of blood groups. Okay, A group, B group and O group. Okay, then Karl Landsteiner's student's name is von D. Castel and Storley. These two people discovered another one group, that is the fourth group, AB group, in the year of 1902. Hope you understood this point. Then next, in the year of 1925, another one famous scientist. His name is Bernstein. His name is called Bernstein. So this Bernstein said the determination of this blood group is due to the presence of one gene. That gene name is called L gene. That gene name is called L gene. So the L gene only determining the blood group in the body of a human being. Understand of you? Understand? And this L gene exists, or this L gene has three important alleles. Okay, three important alleles, and all these three alleles are located in the 9th chromosome. Okay, all these alleles are located in the 9th chromosome. Okay, so totally 46 chromosomes are there. So in the 9th chromosome there are three alleles are there. These three alleles only determining our blood group. Okay, and the name of the genes is called L gene. Okay, name of the gene which is responsible for the determining the blood group is called L gene, and alleles, there are three alleles are responsible. The alleles are located in the 9th chromosome. Okay, then now we say the alleles name. IA allele, first allele, IB allele and IO allele. Okay, IBA, IB and IO. If IA in a blood group. Okay, I antigen if in a blood group, okay, in a person's blood group, A antigen is present mean that allele is determining IA allele. Okay, so IA allele determining the A group. Okay, determining the A group. Then IB allele determining B group, and IO alleles not determining any group. So this group is called O group. Understand, have you? Understand? So hope you are understood this part. So there are three alleles responsible for determining our blood group: IA allele, IB allele, and IO allele. Okay. Here this IA allele producing A antigen, IB allele produce B antigen, and IO allele not producing any antigen. So this IA IO group, IA IO allele determining the O group, O blood group. Understand, my dear students? Then see, this IA allele produce one enzyme. Name of the enzyme is called N-acetyl galactose. Name of the enzyme is called N-acetyl galactose. And this same IA allele add one more amino acid. It is called N-acetyl galactosamine. N-acetyl galactosamine. Then this IB allele producing one enzyme. Name of that enzyme is called galactose transferase. Galactose transferase. And this IB allele add galactose. Hope you understood these 2 points. Then this IO allele not produce any enzyme. So this IO allele is called null allele. IO allele is called null. So once again repeat this point. So there are 3 alleles are there: IA allele, IB allele, and IO allele. So here this IA allele producing an enzyme called N-acetyl galactose, and it add N-acetyl galactosamine. Then IB allele produce galactose transferase, and it add galactose. IO allele not producing any enzyme, so it is called null allele. So it is called null allele. Understand, my dear students? Then this IA allele and IB alleles are always dominant to IO allele. IA allele and IB alleles are always dominant to IO allele. Hope you are understood this one. Now, see, a child can get any one of these alleles from the father and any one of these alleles from the mother. Okay, understand? Listen very carefully. A child can get one allele. 3 alleles are there. So one allele from the father and one allele from the mother. So these 2 alleles are togetherly determining the blood group of that particular child. Okay, so now we are going to study about a small genotype. Listen very carefully. See, IA allele, IB, IO. This is the alleles of father. Then IA, IB, IO is allele of mother. So already I told you, the child receiving one allele from the father and one allele from the mother. So both alleles, 2 alleles are togetherly determining the group of that particular child. So when we draw a genotype here, there is a possibility for 6 genotype. 6 genotype. So listen very carefully. When a child receives IA allele from the father and the child receives IA allele from the mother, so both alleles are IA. So okay, IA. So that child blood group is A group. Okay, so the child blood group is A group. When the child receives IA allele from the father and IB allele from the mother, so one allele is IA, one allele is IB. So the child blood group is AB group. Child blood group is AB group. Then when the child receives IA allele from the father and IO allele from the mother. Okay, so IA, the allele pattern is IA and IO. Already I told you this O is a null allele. Okay, so here the blood group is A group. Okay, IA allele, the child receive IA allele from the father and IO allele from the mother. So the blood group is A group. Okay, then next, when the child receive IB allele from the father and IB allele from the mother. Both alleles are IB, IB. So his or her blood group is B group. So the child blood group is B group. Then, when the child receives IB allele from the father and IO allele from the mother, the allele pattern is IB, IO. So, the child blood group is B group. The child blood group is B group. Then, when the child receives IO allele from the father and IO allele from the mother, so both alleles are IO, IO. So the child blood group is O group. Child blood group is O groups. Understand? So this is the fact. Okay, this phenomenon only determining. So these alleles only determining our blood group. Determining our blood group. Hope you understood this genotype. So dear students, now we completed the first topic. Multiple alleles. So multiple allele definition once again I say. See, multiple allele means when three or more alleles togetherly controlling a particular characters, and the three alleles are located in the same location of a homologous chromosome. That condition is called multiple alleles. So that alleles are called multiple alleles. So now we completed this multiple alleles. Then now we are going to study about the next topic, RH factor. Okay, see, RH factor means it is otherwise called RH antigen. Okay, every person's blood this RH factor is present. Okay, listen very carefully. See, here this RH factor is otherwise called RH antigen. These factors was first discovered by two scientists. One scientist name is Karl Landsteiner and the second scientist name is Alexander Weiner. So these two people only togetherly discovered this RH factor in the year of 1940. In the year of 1940. And they discovered this RH factor in the blood of one monkey. The monkey name is called Macaco rhesus. Macaco rhesus. Later, this RH factor was discovered in the blood of the human beings also. Hope you understood this part. So the RH factors was first discovered by Karl Landsteiner and Alexander Weiner in the year of 1940. Okay, and they discovered this RH factor in the blood of one monkey. Name of the monkey is called Macaco rhesus. Understand? Understand you? Then. See, this RH factor is due to the presence or absence of one antigen. Name of the antigen is called a D antigen. Name of the antigen is called D antigen. Okay, name of the antigen is called D antigen. So, if a person's blood consists of this D antigen, that person's blood is RH positive blood. If this D antigen is absent in a person's blood, that blood is RH negative blood. That blood is called RH negative blood. And usually there is no antibody for this D antigen. So there is no D antibodies for this D antigen in any person's blood. Understand? Listen very carefully. Actually, the D antigen, if the D antigen is present in a person's blood, that blood is RH positive blood, and if there is no D antigen, that blood is RH negative blood. And there is no D antibodies are present in the blood of a person. But when a RH negative persons receive the blood from the RH positive person, immediately this D antibody is produced in the body or in the blood. Listen very carefully. When a RH negative person receive the blood from a RH positive person, in the RH negative person's blood, anti-D antibodies are produced. Okay? Understand? The first time the D antibodies are produced. But when a RH positive person receive blood from RH negative person, it will not cause any problem. It will not lead to any problem. Hope you have understood this RH factor. Okay? Understand? Then, now we are going to study about the next topic, genetic control of RH factor. Okay, genetic control of RH factor. See, these RH factors also determined by some alleles. Okay, some alleles only responsible for this RH factor. whether the RH positive or RH negative. Okay, the RH factors are controlled or determined by some alleles. Okay, so two hypotheses are explained in your book. The first hypothesis is called Fisher and Race hypothesis. Fisher and Race hypothesis. According to these two people, according to Fisher and Race, the alleles responsible for this RH factor is located in three different but closely related area of a homologous chromosome. Okay, and they are saying three alleles are determining this RH factor. So according to this Fisher and Race hypothesis, three alleles are responsible for the RH factors, and all these three alleles are located in different locations but closely linked homologous chromosome. Listen very carefully, dear students. See, just imagine this is one chromosome, this is next chromosome. Okay, three alleles are there: C allele, D allele, and E allele. Okay, C allele, D allele, and E allele. Sometimes these alleles are in dominant condition, and sometimes these alleles are in recessive condition. So listen very carefully. See. So now we can draw many genotypes. Just imagine. See, now from this chromosome I take all the capital letters. C, capital C, capital B, and capital E. And from here I take all the small letters. C, small c, small d, and small e. So this is one genotype. This is one genotype. Then I can draw another one genotype. From here I take small c, then capital D and small e. Okay. Then from here I take capital C, small d, and capital E. So this is another one genotype. Okay. Like that we can draw many genotypes. So what are the genotypes carrying this capital D? That genotypes determining RH positive. That genotype determining RH positive. And what are the genotypes having a double small d? Okay, double small d is determining RH negative. So the capital D determining RH positive and the double small d is determining RH negative. So hope you are understood this Fisher and Race hypothesis. So Fisher and Race says there are three alleles determining our RH factors, and these three alleles are located in different locations, but the locations are present in the closely linked chromosomes. Okay, the alleles name C, D, E. Okay, these two alleles only determining the RH factor. Hope you understood. The second hypothesis is Wiener hypothesis. Another one person. According to this Wiener hypothesis, there are 8 alleles are responsible for determining the RH factor. And all these 8 alleles are located in a single location. Here I said the 3 alleles, and these 3 alleles are located in 3 different locations. But here Wiener says the 8 alleles are responsible for the RH factor determination, and the 8 alleles, all the 8 alleles are located in the single locations. Okay, the alleles name is capital R1, capital R2, capital R0, and capital RZ. Then small r, small r1, small r2, and small ry. So these are the 8 alleles responsible for determining the RH factors. Okay, then he says, so with the help of these alleles we can draw many genotypes. What are the genotypes carrying capital R? That genotypes determining RH positive. What are the genotypes carrying double small r? That genotypes determining negative RH negative. So dear students, these two hypotheses are very important, togetherly very important 3-mark question. Understand that you? So in Fisher and Race hypothesis, 3 alleles determining the RH factor, and the 3 alleles are located in 3 different locations. But the Wiener hypothesis says there are 8 alleles are responsible for determining our Rh factor, and 8 alleles are located in single locations. Understand, my dear students? So, dear students, now we have completed 2 important topics. The first topic is called multiple allele, and the second topic is Rh factor. Second topic is Rh factors. So, it's a very easy topic, and try to study these 2 questions today itself. Okay, here you have to prepare, it's a 5-mark question, and then 1-mark question is there, and here this Rh factor is a 3-mark question, and genetic control of Rh factor also is a 3-mark question. So dear students, try to complete these 2 questions today itself, and we will meet in the next class. Thank you.